dividing decimals. I hope you're good at long division because you're going to be using that a lot today. If not, you're going to need to go back and relearn long division, and if you need my help, be sure to ask me about that. Here's an example of a division problem. 4.32 divided by 3.6. A little vocabulary recap for you. This first number is called the dividend. This second number is called the divisor. If it were set up in a division box, notice that the dividend is in the box and the divisor is the one outside the box. And the deal with dividing decimals is that divisor must be a whole number. Division means you're splitting something up into groups. And I can't split something up into 3.6 groups. So I need to make it a whole number. And we do that by moving the decimal over to the right until it becomes a whole number. Mathematically, we're multiplying by a power of 10. 3.6 times 10 is 36. So instead of having to go through all that multiplication, we kind of take a shortcut in moving those decimals. If I do the same thing to the if I move the decimal over in the 3.6, I have to do the same thing to the 4.32. Math is all about being equal, and here is case in point. So I'm going to move the decimal over here as well. You can see where I've rewritten this now. So now I'm thinking of it as 43.2 divided by 36. Put that in my division box. Remember, the first number goes in the division box. And now I'm actually going to divide that out. I line up the decimal in the quotient. Go ahead and do that to start with so you don't get mixed up with it. And then divide it as if you weren't even thinking about the decimals. 36 won't go into 4, but it will go into 43 one time. Then I multiply. I get 36. Subtract. I get 7, and I bring down. 36 goes into 72 twice. 2 times 36 is 72. It terminates there, so my answer is 1.2. So why is this okay? Take this, 0.6 divided by 0.3. If you were to put that in your calculator, you're going to get 2. Or think of it in money. If I have 60 cents and I want to divide that into stacks of 30 cents, I'm going to have 2 equal stacks. If I were to move those decimals over one spot, I would have 6 and 3. I would have those whole numbers. And as you know, 6 divided by 3 is 2. This is okay because 0.6 divided by 0.3 and 6 divided by 3 are equivalent expressions. Equivalent meaning they have the same value. And so they're this because they have the same value. They're both equal to 2. So this is an okay thing to do when I'm talking about moving the decimal over. But you have to do that in both parts of the division problem. To break this down into a how-to, first you're going to move the decimal in the divisor to be a whole number. My divisor is that second one. I'm going to move it over one spot there. That makes it the whole number of 6. Second step, I'm going to move the decimal the same number of places in the dividend. So I moved it one spot here, so I move it one spot over here. Okay, and then I'm going to divide, and we need to set this up as long division. So the first number is going to go inside the box. I'm going to swap markers. Okay. That's better. 2.4 divided by 6. I line my decimal up. 6 goes into 2, 0 times. 6 goes into 24, 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract. I get the remainder of 0. So my answer is 0.4. You can kind of check these in your head by multiplying again. If I had 0.4 times 0.6, 6 times 4 is 24, and I would move that decimal over 2 places, making it 0.24. Let's give you a chance to practice on your own. Pause the video, work these out, and then compare with what I came up with. Okay, 6. Okay, let's talk about practice A. First, I had to move the decimal over one spot, so I do the same thing in the dividend, and notice I annexed that 0 in, rewrote it, lined up my decimal. Where this one might get a little bit tricky is you saw 12 times 2 is 24, you got a remainder of 0, but I'm not done because I still haven't used all of the whole numbers yet, so that 0 comes down, 12 goes into 0, 0 times. And you're checking this in your head too. 12 times 2 is 24, not 240, so that other 0 is necessary. And then I went back, I noticed that I had a positive divided by a negative. Those are different signs, so my quotient is negative. For practice B, 90 divided by 0.36. I have to move the decimal over 2 spots to make 36 a whole number. Do the same thing over here, and I'm having to annex 2 zeros. Same situation, when I divide out, I get 25, but yet I still have a 0. I have to put that in again, and I get 250.